Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Jason with Jadren Aquatics. Thanks for joining me in the fish room again. So today we are going to talk about how to not only hatch Tetra eggs, but we're also going to show you how to raise up the fry. Today we're going to be working on the Red Eye Tetras. So you've got some eggs and you're not exactly sure what to do. So let's go ahead and let's move over to the fry hatchery where I do everything from. And we've got some Red Eye Tetra eggs ready to go. Okay, so we went in and we siphoned off as many of the eggs that we could and put them in this small container here. And also we put them in 100% rainwater. Again, if you guys don't have access to enough rainwater, you can always try using some RO water or some distilled water instead. It doesn't always work quite as well, but rainwater just obviously works great. And so you can see we've pulled out quite a few eggs. We've got a few of them that are already starting to fungus. So the next thing that we need to do is we need to put some just a tiny bit of methylene blue in there. Okay, so here is our methylene blue. Instead of giving you what a dosage is, what I do is I just barely put maybe just half a drop or so, because all I'm trying to do is just get the water so it's just slightly tinted blue. Not a heavily tinted blue, just a slightly tinted blue. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of that in there. Okay, we got the methylene blue in there. I know it's kind of hard to see what the tint is when it's sitting on the blue background. And again, I know I told you guys this. I know I told you guys that this is rainwater, but understand the water that it's actually in. These are where I breed all of my baby fish, or where I grow them up at. This is just a regular tap water that's in here, but I'm only floating this in here to keep it at the right temperature. It's not receiving any water whatsoever from here. So this thing is staying 100% rainwater. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move an air stone in here and let that air stone sit in there so it can kind of keep the water turned a little bit. This way, what this does is some of those eggs that will begin to fungus, the ones that are not fertilized, if they get up against a good egg, that fungus will move right over to the good egg and kill that egg also. So if you have the ability or have the time, the best thing you can do is remove as many of the unfertilized eggs as you possibly can, because those are the guys that do the absolute most damage. And again, that's why we want to use the methylene blue, is to try to keep any more of these guys from fungusing. All right, here we are at day 2, and you guys can probably see down at the bottom we've got a bunch of wigglers in here now. So we're going to leave these guys in here for a couple more days, and then we're going to start trying to feed them once that egg sac is gone. But one of the things you need to do each day while you have these things is you want to try to get out as many of the unfertilized eggs, because those are what are your enemy. Those are the ones that cause the most problems. And the good thing about the unfertilized eggs is they're the ones that tend to float. So if you just kind of shake it up or stir it up a little bit, you'll see those unfertilized eggs just begin to float, and you can just take a turkey baster and suck those things out to keep that water clean. That way, by doing that, you can end up doing probably a 50, 60, 70% water change each day also, to keep that water nice and clean. So you have a better chance for more fish to actually hatch. Okay, so this is day 5, and so that you guys know, each day I would top the water off that I had in the container that the eggs were in. I would top it off from the actual water in the tank. Again, this is the whole breeding system that I have. If you guys want to see how I made this thing, I'll link that above. And so after those guys, after they were in the container for about 3 days, and they became free swimming, so that they were no longer attached to the side, I went ahead and poured them into this bigger container here. And this one I've got it turned off right now while it's while I'm filming, but I've got the dripper here that's normally dripping about as much as that one is in here. And so by now, they're out of the rainwater 100%, and they're in all tap water now. I can't begin to count how many of these things are in here. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Pretty much all you can kind of see is just their little two black eyeballs, and then their bodies are kind of real clear. Normally with fry, I like to keep the bottom of these things clean by taking a turkey baster and sucking the bottom out, but these things are so small and they're everywhere, there is absolutely no way that I can get that stuff and keep it clean. So that's why I'm trying to run quite a bit of water through here all the time, so they are constantly getting fresh water. And so these guys being so small, you just can't raise them on brine shrimp until they're probably about 5 days old. Okay, so what I like to use is golden pearls. This is just a mixture of stuff. You can see all the different ingredients they put in it, but this stuff is specially made so that it's extremely, extremely small, so even the smallest of fish can actually eat it. And also the way it's prepared is it's made so that this stuff floats on the surface. And again, once you put it in there, it is so tiny you can't see it, but you could, right as you put it in, it'll spread real quickly all over the surface, and then you kind of can't even see it again. I'll link this above so you guys can find this. This stuff comes in all sorts of different sizes. Like this one is 5 to 50 microns. It's the smallest that there is. If you wanted to raise your fry up on this stuff, you could buy all the different sizes in between and just gradually move your fish up. But I like to get mine on baby brine shrimp as fast as possible because that yolk sac that's produced by the brine shrimp is just fantastic for baby fish and their health and their ability to grow fast. And so let's go ahead and let's feed them so you can see kind of how this stuff works. Okay, so I like to use one of these little scoops. This is just one of them that's out of, I don't know, some other container of salt or something that I had before. That way it's kind of easier to control. And so I kind of like to just get right here on the edge and just kind of tap it a little bit. It's not going to take very much at all. Yeah, I know it's kind of a slow process, but you don't want to tap it too fast. And if you could see there how when even the chunks hit the water, it just absolutely just dissipates all over the place. Let's see if we can do it again with it out at focusing on it. There goes one. Yeah, so this stuff just dissipates all over it. And the most fry just absolutely love this stuff. So what you need to do is these fry are growing out, kind of look at them and look at their bellies, and since they're kind of translucent, you can see if they're actually eating something or not. If they're not, some other food that's really good for them that's small is microworms. If you know someone has a microworm culture, or if you're ever planning on doing this, it's good to get a microworm culture going. And also vinegar eels is another really good thing to have, and another just real easy type food to feed them. But this is my favorite because this is the easiest. And again, I've only got to use this for 3 or 4 days just to get them big enough so that I can finally start feeding them baby brine shrimp like I do everything else. Okay, so here we are now. These babies are now 7 days old. And I've been feeding them the golden pearls about 2 to 3 times a day, like I showed you in the earlier video. And then the last 3 days, I've been putting just a tiny bit of baby brine shrimp in there to see if these guys are ready to start eating it. And the easiest way to tell is when you start seeing the pink bellies on them. And if you guys can actually look in here and see, there's quite a few of them that have pretty full pink bellies. So now these guys are feeding off of baby brine shrimp, which means my job from here on out is extremely easy because I already hatch out brine shrimp. So now we're going to take these babies and we're going to try to feed them about 3 times a day, in the morning, the afternoon, and the night before we go to bed. And these guys should grow up extremely quick. So that is the last segment of this video now. Once you get these guys to baby brine shrimp, it is super, super, super easy to get them up to adults. So if you guys got any questions or comments, be sure and leave them down below. So thanks again, guys, and God bless. Thanks again, guys, for joining me. I really appreciate each and every one of you. If you guys got any questions or comments, be sure and leave them down below. So thanks again, guys, and God bless.